Welcome to Learn Yourself. Today we are going to study about uniform motion and non-uniform motion. These topics are under Chapter 8 Motion from CBSE Standard 9 syllabus. Earlier we have seen that what is a movement, what is a distance and what is a displacement. So today we are going to learn uniform and non-uniform motion. The name itself suggests uniform means it comes with one uniform pattern, and non-uniform means it does not have any pattern. So here uniform means equal distance in equal time. How is it so? So let us understand like this, that car is going and it has covered 5 meter in 1 second. This is the first lap in which it has gone from A to B. This is 5 meter in 1 second. In 1 second it has covered a 5 meter. Now the another lap, that is also a 5 meter, it has covered in another 1 second. And in another third lap, it is going 5 meter in another 1 second. So if we will see here, this is a uniform motion. Why it is uniform? Because the car is covering 5 meter in every second. In every second, that means it is per second. What is this? This is a unit of a motion, unit of speed. That is how we are describing speed, that this much distance has been covered in this much time. So here meter per second. Per second means every second. Per second's meaning is every second. So when I am writing 5 meter per second, 5 meter per second, that means the object is traveling 5 meter per second. So it is covering 5 meters of distance every second. Now here if I will write that 15 meter per second, that means object is covering 15 meter in every second. In first second 15 meter, in second 15 meter, in third second, consecutive third second, it will cover 15 seconds. So if 3 seconds it will travel, then it has likely to cover 15 plus 15 plus 15. So it is 45 meter. It has covered 45 meter in 3 seconds. That is the meaning of uniformity. That is the meaning of uniform motion. This is uniform motion. Now, in other case, when car is traveling 5 meter in 1 second, the second lap is 3 meter. And this is also covering in 1 second. So, in second lap, it has covered only 3 meter in 1 second. Now, again, it is covering 4 meter in 1 second. So, there is no uniformity. Earlier in 1 second, it has covered 5 meter, then 3 meter and then 4 meter. So, there is no uniformity. So, we cannot conclude that after 3 seconds where it has reached. If we have data for all the 3 seconds, then we can conclude, then we can count. Otherwise, we do not know that after the 4th second, where the car will be, how much distance it will cover, because this is non-uniform motion. This is non-uniform motion. In this we cannot conclude. If we have given the data for the speed and its average speed, then we can conclude. Otherwise, like this we cannot guess. Here we can guess because this is a uniform motion. So this is a basic difference between uniform motion and non-uniform motion, that in uniform motion the distance will be equal in equal interval of time. And in non-uniform motion, in every time lapse, the distance will not be equal. So when we are talking about uniform and non-uniform motion, let us talk about the speed. What is a speed? A distance traveled by object in unit time. When distance we are associating with time, that 5 meter it has covered. So in how much time it has covered? How much distance has been covered in what time interval? When we are calculating a distance along with the time, that in how much time this distance has been covered at that time, actually we are referring to the speed. That this much distance has been travelled in this much unit time, and that is meter per second. So here meter per second, meter is distance, and when we are writing per second, that means in this much time this much distance has been covered. So that's why the unit is meter per second. So this much distance has been covered in this much time interval. So this is a unit, SI unit of speed, that is meter per second. Now from the speed we can also write average speed. Throughout the journey, what was the average speed of that car or of that body? So that is total distance travelled. When the motion is uniform or non-uniform, at that time we can take out the average speed. That total distance travelled by total time taken. Now what is the equation for average speed is V equals to S. S is our distance, the total distance travelled by a body divided by total time taken. So this is throughout the journey. Throughout the journey, what is the distance, and throughout the journey from initial point to final point, what will be the time covered by that distance. So that will be our average speed. So now when speed is there with the direction, that in specific direction a certain speed is there for any object, then we call it a velocity. So what is a speed? Speed is distance in particular time. When this distance in particular time interval is travelled or is covered in specific direction, then that quantity is known as or is defined as velocity. So velocity is the speed of an object moving in a definite direction. So simply, what is a velocity? Velocity is speed with a direction. Now what is our speed? Distance covered in total time. So that is speed, and when speed is coming along with a direction, then that is a velocity. Now speed can be variable because sometimes speed is uniform and sometimes speed is non-uniform. So in that case, we can take average velocity. So when the speed is variable, we can take average velocity. Now what we are concluding in average velocity? That object's initial velocity we are taking plus final velocity. That when the object has started moving, what was its velocity at that time, and when object has stopped moving, what was its velocity at that final time. So initial velocity plus final velocity divided by 2. So this we are taking average of the velocity. So we can also write like this, that VAV. AV suggests that V is velocity and AV suggests average, equals to U. U is always referring to initial position or initial velocity. So U plus V. V is final velocity divided by 2. So that is our average velocity. Now what will be the unit of velocity? It is meter per second. Speed's unit is also meter per second. Velocity's unit is also meter per second, and average velocity's unit is also meter per second. So till now we have seen speed, speed with direction, and average velocity. So speed, velocity, and average velocity. What is speed? Speed is distance in time. That is distance covered in specific time interval. Distance divided by time. When speed is coming with a direction, that is known as velocity. Speed with direction is velocity. After that, we have learned average velocity. What is average velocity? The initial velocity plus final velocity divided by 2. And the units of all the three quantities are meter per second. Now let us understand, when velocity will change, then there is a change in velocity that is termed as acceleration. So here rate of change of velocity is termed as acceleration. So here acceleration equals to measure of change in velocity of an object per unit time. How much velocity has been changed per unit time, that is known as acceleration. So here acceleration equals to change in velocity divided by time taken. So A is acceleration, V minus U. So that is change in velocity. Here V is final velocity and U is an initial velocity divided by T, and the unit will be meter per second square. Till now we have seen the unit that is meter per second. For speed and for velocity and average velocity, the unit is meter per second. Here acceleration is meter per second square. And what is acceleration? That is change in velocity divided by time taken. So final velocity minus initial velocity divided by time. So hope this video has solved your doubt. In coming videos we are going to learn many more important concepts. So don't forget to subscribe, learn yourself. I'll see you in next video. Till then, keep learning, keep sharing.